use it. All right, so we're looking at our ratio test, our ratio and rates test review. All right, this is going to be number 27. In my regular classes, this is number 26. Go ahead, Dan. Oh, you're good. I thought someone was sharpening pencil. So this is 27. In my regular classes, it is 26. You'll notice your review has 17. Your test has 18 questions. And one of those questions is different, so we're going to actually talk about that today as we go over this. Guys, I want us to start with this first part. It says, write each ratio as a fraction and explain its meaning. This is going all the way back to Monday. And what I've seen is when we're doing this ratio, a lot of people are wanting to treat it like a rate. So I want us to be really careful, and I want us to set up and work number one together so we kind of know what it should look like. So on number one, it says set up the ratio, which means that's just my fraction. So what is my fraction going to look like on number one? Lock? 4/6. And then it says to simplify. Do y'all see right here where it says simplify? Guys, does simplify mean make a 1 on the bottom? No, simplify means just divide them as small as you can. Should I get a decimal on these? No. All right, so 4 and 6, what can I do to simplify that, Dalton? Divide by 2. All right, so on this 4 divided by 2 and 6 divided by 2, what do I get as my new ratio? Dalton? 2/3. Now, guys, on a ratio, do I need the measurement? No, that's a rate, correct? The ratio is just the fraction. So we're done. All right? All right, so my directions say write the ratio as a fraction and explain its meaning. So now we do need to do the explaining part. All right, does anyone remember how we're going to explain this, Dylan?
2 tulips for every 3 daffodils.
All right, so I'm going to write there are 2 tulips for every 3 daffodils. You can tell I don't have a whole lot of room on here, so if you want to do your work on a separate sheet of paper, you can. I am going to take this up tomorrow, okay? There are 2 tulips for every 3 daffodils. Is this coming back to us? Sound familiar? It's what we did on Monday. All right. Now Monday, every one of these problems, guys, is going to be there are blah 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 for blah 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 blah. There are blah 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 for every blah 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 blah. Every single problem. Write your fraction, simplify it, write your explanation. There are whatever the first thing is for every whatever the second thing is. All right, Dylan. So there is one other type of problem that is not on this review, but we are going to see on the test. All right, so I'm going to put a little star here and put on test. And this is one of those things I realized this morning. I was comparing the review and the test, and I went, oh, poop. That is not on the review. So we're going to look at that real quick, okay? So on the test, when we're talking about ratios, so we can always have there are, blah, 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 for every, whatever it is. There's another option. What other type of problem is there? So not what is the word, but what is the other type of problem? There's one other thing that I might have to do when I'm working these.
There is something out of something.
Okay, so there's something out of something. So that wording is important. I can go ahead and I'm going to write down the wording so that we're not tempted to give me that as the answer. Out of, so we have something out of something else. Are we okay with that? That's the sentence I'd be looking for. Whatever's on the top, out of, whatever's on the bottom, okay? But what word in the problem tells me that I need to use out of? Luke?
The word in the problem could be,
Or what is the problem telling me to do?
no, it's telling you, to multiply,
Not multiply. You're kind of on the right track. Lock? Hannah? To find the total. When I use the out of, it's because we added everything up. It's like that problem that we had with Edgardo, where he had a bunch of fruit in the refrigerator, and we had to add up all that fruit that was in the refrigerator. So if you see the word, I'm going to write it real big. If you see the word total, we're looking at an out of problem. All right, and I know there's not one on the test, but I happen to have an old homework sheet here from what we did on Monday. So I thought it might be a good idea for us to look at one that we did on Monday. Let's look at this number 13. So you can see this is where Salvador is keeping track of the books he has read this year. Find the ratio of mystery books to the total number of books Salvador has read, and then we want to explain its meaning. So do y'all see the word total? All right, again, that's where I know, I'm going to have to use out of. All right? So let's look at the first thing. It says the ratio of mystery books. All right, so I can look at how many mystery books there are. How many do we got? Mystery books, we got 10. So I got 10. And then it says to the total number. So what am I going to do to find the total number? Dalton? I'm going to add them all up. Do I need to add in the 10? Yes. When it says total, it means everything. So 10 and 7 is 17, plus 5, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, plus 2 more, 23, 24. We okay with that? 24? Counting on fingers and everything, if that's what we need to do. I don't have a calculator, so. All right, so I got 10 over 24. What do I need to do now to 10 and 24? Alexandra? Simplify. What am I going to divide those by? 2, and that gives me 5 over 12. Perfect. So there's my ratio. I did that the same way, right? The only difference is I had to add for the bottom number. I still simplified. Am I worried about a 1? No, I don't care about that. Okay, so I get 5 over 12. Now the sentence. This is where it looks different. All right, remember we're going to have the top number. What is the top number talking about, Abby? The mystery book. So I'm going to say he read, because that's what he's doing with them. He read 5 mystery books. Or a more generic thing would be there are 5 mystery books. Out of. That's that out of that we were just talking about. Out of. Out of what? What's on the bottom? What's Tanner? Not all the other books. What's on the bottom, Danielle? 12. 12 what? Books. Are those 12 one certain type? No, so it's just 12 books. Did I put 12 books total? No, because my total was 24, and didn't I already change that? So you're just putting 12 books. So if I was talking about, I don't know, how many monkeys are at the zoo, I would say, I don't know, 15 monkeys out of the animals. Does that make sense? Okay. So, out of. All right. This is on the test, guys. Are we okay with that? And it's in a chart and everything. All right, number 6. Write each rate as a unit rate. So these are going to be a little bit different because now it says a unit rate. But I'm still going to start it the same. How am I going to start this one? Zach, number 6. How am I going to start it?
We're going to put 36 over 6.
36 over 6. Perfect. Okay. Now what, Chandler? Divide them by 6. Why am I dividing by 6 here? So I can get a 1 on the bottom. Guys, this time I'm not dividing it because it goes into them like I do up here. Here, my goal is to get the 1. Do I want a 1 on the top? No. Do I want a 1 now that I'm at number 6? Yes. So that gives me what is going to be my unit rate. Let's see if you can give it to me correctly. The unit rate. Dalton? Close. Matea?
6 pieces of candy per child.
6 pieces of candy. Let's just write our fraction for now. 6 pieces of candy over
1 child.
1. And you notice he didn't say children because 1 would just be a child.
1 children.
1 children. But we have 1 child here. Are we okay with that? So because this is a rate, we had to have my words. Are y'all okay with that? Guys, if I read those directions, does it say to explain it? Put them down. Okay. Does it say to explain it? Nope. So do I need to do anything else? No.
Noise.
You're welcome. All right. But yes, Mateo is correct. If it did tell me to explain, I would just say 6 pieces of candy per child. This is where we see the word per. All right, but I'm just going to let you write the fraction with the word. Okay? Mm-hmm. I will double check at the end of this, but it should be. All right. Number 7. Now I'm getting curious. Yeah, it is. All right. I do want us to look at number 7. Why do you think I care about number 7? Dylan? Because there's money. What's special about money? Logan? It goes first. Can you change the order in any other problem?
No.
No, but if there's money, we want it on top. Okay. So for number 7, how am I going to set that up? Willie, you with me back there? With me back there? Yeah. Number 7, how am I going to set it up? Aaron. Perfect. What am I dividing by on this problem? Grace? 8. Perfect. All right. Raise your hand if you want to try to give me my unit rate. The entire thing correctly. The entire thing correctly. Chandler?
0.25 cents over 1 tomato.
Okay, I agree with your 1 tomato. All right, and I agree with your 0.25. But 0.25 cents, that's less than a penny, isn't it? So is it cents that we're talking about? What is that top number talking about? Alexandra? Dollars. You got to put your dollar 0.25. Now when I read it, it's not 0.25 cents. I read that as 25 cents. Do you see the difference? If you say 0.25 cents, that is not correct. It's $0.25 because it's 1/4, which if you think about it, isn't 1/4 1/4 of a, it's 25% of a dollar. Okay? Go ahead. So make sure you have the dollar sign there. Do not put your cent sign. Do not put your cent sign or I will have to mark it wrong. Okay? If it's talking about dollars, our answer's in dollars. Got it? Good with that? All right. Do I need to do anything else? No. It does not say to explain, so I'm good here. What if I did need to explain? Could someone explain that for me real quick? Just if I needed to. Kelly?
$0.25 per tomato.
Good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. $0.25 per tomato. Or if you were reading it, you would probably just say 25 cents per tomato. All right. Let's look at number 13. So I'm kind of skipping around. All right. Now, number 13, you'll notice my money's already first. So is that good? Yeah. What about a number 15? No, you will have to put the money in front. On number 16, you will have to put the money on the front. Do you change the order of any other problem? No. What if you get a decimal?
It's still a decimal.
It's a decimal. That's okay. Not a big deal. We're good. All right. All right. So I'm going to start off with number 13. What's my first ratio going to look like, Tanner? 18 over 3. And we want to change that to a unit rate. So to change it to a unit rate, what am I going to do, Dalton? Divide by 3. What is my answer going to look like for that first one? Emma? And what needs to go with the 6? Perfect. And with the 1? Bracelet. Perfect. Bracelet. So I get $6, 1 bracelet. All right. What about my next ratio? What's that one going to look like, Willie? Number 13. 30 over 5. Excellent job. And what am I going to divide by here, Lola? 5. And what is my unit rate going to be, Ethan? Which is 6. And what needs to go with that 6? Dollar sign. And on the bottom, what do I get? 1 what? Bracelet. All right. Are these equivalent? Yes, this one does say to explain, so I'm going to write yes. You can tell I kind of ran out of a little bit of room here, so I'm going to put yes. And why? They're equal, so I'm going to write they're equal. Yes, they're equal. That's your explanation. Okay? Guys, that's your test is set up. Remember, the only thing that's missing from here is the one where to do a total. There will be one of those on the test tomorrow. Okay? That's how it's set up. Are y'all good with this? Do you have any questions? All right. I will be collecting this tomorrow. I will send out a video tonight going over the other problems. So please watch your video because I am going to collect this, okay?